Hello, gentlemen. Love what you're doing. Thank you very much. I love this. Hey, so we are a new company here in just south of Houston, Texas. We're in Alvin, Texas. We just started up right before all this hit. First call out of the gate, sold the job. Couldn't have been more happy. Had a few more calls. I was off and running. Well, the Corona hit, and here we are. So what I'm struggling with is advertising. You know, I don't have many customers right now, and this is just not making it much better. But I've heard that I shouldn't be even doing advertising, maybe Facebook, something like that right now, or just wait until this is over. What is your thoughts on that? What can we do to get our name out? And with all this going on, a little insight there. What can we do? What would be the best thing to do there?
I'll jump on that first, and then I'll toss it to you, Gary, since you're also a marketing guy. Yeah, different people are saying different things about marketing and advertising. I think certainly early on we needed to be a lot more tentative than we do now. That's just, this is my 2 cents. And but you know, now, like I said a little bit earlier, now is not the time to take a chance with your heating and air conditioning system or filtration and purification systems in your house that can also sterilize what's going on here. And so I worked with some companies, and social media obviously is inexpensive for you to do, as well as certainly on your website, and then thebestpostcards.com. They've got postcards for very inexpensive. I want to say they can get the postcards out for like it's like 15 cents, 18 cents or something like that. Very inexpensive and decent sized postcards. Not the little guys, but the bigger ones. And they can advertise your maintenance and your service, your demand service. Maybe $50 off any repair. Obviously does not go towards the diagnostic. You could do your tune-up. You could do a monster maintenance where you're cleaning the coil and the blower wheel, and maybe if you do duct cleaning, you could do that. And knowing you're a new company, you're probably not doing that, but you could expand the tune-up. Instead of trying to do that $29, $49 cheap clean and check, you could do maybe a $189 monster maintenance and kind of differentiate yourself in that market down there because it's very competitive. And then, of course, obviously, you can do, they've got some really nice postcard content already in the can for you to look at. So reach out to them and ask for Andrew and tell him you want the content that I'm recommending to you. He's got some nice indoor air quality postcards where you can promote filters, purification lights, ionization, sterilization type products, and again, do it very inexpensively. My belief is right now, probably another, you're probably getting warm out there. You could probably drop something here for replacement in the next week or two. But I think low cost, low threshold, low barrier to entry services, especially for a new company, would probably be the better way to go at this point in time. And so I would stick to going after tune-up services and things like that. G-Man?
Yeah, it's a great question. You're a startup, so the answer for you is different than I would give for somebody that was maybe a more mature company. So keep the context in mind. Those that are listening, context does matter. So budget, I don't know what your budget is. You didn't mention that, but we're going to assume that you have some money to do some advertising. I wouldn't do traditional advertising. I think that's probably not going to get you where you want to go as a cost per thousand or a cost per lead. You're probably going to spend a lot more money than you normally would. So what that leaves you is digital. Digital is imminently more controllable. I would definitely attack social media. You can do that. You personally can do that if you've got some creativity. I understand alcohol sales are up 75%, Wally, is that what you said? So there might be some creativity there. You can do some things that are community oriented that are also going to get you some traction and referrals. There's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of people get freaked out about marketing, social media, and getting a message across about, hey, I'm a company that can sell you something, as opposed to a community-minded cause where you're getting brand exposure. Because you're a new company, I think it's probably okay. The second thing, Drew, you mentioned the postcards, but I would take the approach with the postcard of having an email drip campaign because you're a new company, you don't have any email addresses unless you bought a database. So what you might want to do is go to the local newspapers. They have vetted type mailing lists. 99 out of 100 times I would not recommend this, but you're a new company and you've got no calls. So I'm giving you some advice I wouldn't normally give to a standard customer. You don't want to be sending emails that are going to not be opened or that end up being bad email addresses, or that's going to count against you in the future, and it's essentially going to be marked as spam. But if you go ahead and acquire the list through a newspaper or an organization, that maybe a magazine where they actually have collected those emails are going to be more vetted. You can then, pay for the email drip campaign, and I would keep it short and sweet. Indoor air quality, safety tips, maintenance, and I would probably have something in there that's a small version of an offer. I love the 6 months, no payments. Use your tax refunds, use your stimulus check, use, your opportunity, you don't have to pay for 6 months. Create a promotion that makes it interesting for somebody to want to actually pick up the phone who might be in the marketplace. One of the things that we know is that the market, we're still doing installs, we're still doing plumbing calls. Fewer, but they're still out there. So you might have to expand your geographic zone, based on your normal approach. COVID-19 might have another 10 to 15 miles in your geo zones versus if, we were back in sort of a normal type of an effort. So I would sit down and look at how many leads that you require, which medias might be able to create those, track it. For me, postcards, social media, and email campaigns would be absolutely the best. I don't know what your website is or isn't. You didn't mention that, but you need to have a decent digital platform. Your digital platform is the cornerstone of what your tracking systems do. Google Analytics is free. It'll install on that, but it's not going to track your email campaigns. It's not going to track social media. So you got to be involved with a company that's building a technology, and there are a few out there. Obviously, I've got a self-interest in that, but as a startup, you're probably not my persona as a client, to be honest with you. I mean, I would probably send you somewhere else. We're much more of a business that's centered around a larger scale business that's looking for much deeper analytics, a much broader platform. But it doesn't change the fact that you as a new company need to have a strong digital presence so that you're creating your SEO, your organic leads, especially in your community, are going to be your best, lowest cost leads. Somebody looked at you, they filled out a contact form. Make sure that you have some form of a chat bot on there. Millennials in particular like the opportunity to communicate that way first, and drive people to your site. And I think over time that might help. So we can go on and on. There's probably more to it, but at the end of the day, that's an offline conversation. Send us a note. Wally, Drew, myself will be happy to help you out with some ideas. But budget and sort of where you're at marketing wise, what can you do? Are all key components. I mean, I wouldn't hesitate as a new company, and I've done 2 startups myself, just run around and put stuff in people's mailboxes. Some of that stuff works. And so, it's a low cost model, and you just need to attack but spend your money wisely.
Just FYI, on thebestpostcards.com, and we talked to Andrew, they have that email list that Gary's talking about, and they can tie that to your direct mail piece as well. 1-2 punch for you on that. And if you're doing what Gary said about mailboxes, on the mailbox, not in the mailbox. You can't go in the mailbox.
Hey, Drew, if you can just slowly say the URL one more time. We have a few folks asking.
Okay. Thebestpostcards.com. And you're going to ask to speak with Andrew when you call. And then just tell him you heard from me, and he'll share with you all the content that he's created for some of my clients and other people. He's got a lot of content, and he does a great job, and he can turn this around quick, by the way, very quick and very inexpensively.